Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
for some reason, suddenly some words of the sentence, at least I can't hear or I can't understand. So if possible, I mean, it's like in each class that happens and something important, I'm not able to hear properly, even if I use the headphone.
Oh,
I don't know if recording is also coming and
sure.
other
So this
devotees
is
are
due
also
to
facing the same.
the bad network. Archana Mataji or Ruchi Mataji, is it same experience with you also?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji, it's clearly audible to me. Everything clearly audible.
Archana Mataji, for you?
Today there's a little break, but other times it is quite smooth. Sometimes there is a break in the voice, that's all. But otherwise, okay. I can hear.
One second, I will change the network. Actually, where I am sitting, there is a very good Wi-Fi connection. Still, no problem. I will change to. Yes.
And another thing, Prabhuji, thank you for the sharing those files.
For Ramanujas? For Ramanujacharya files?
Yeah, I think couple of days back you sent actual the slides what you teach from that file you sent. Then we unit 2, unit 3, those files you sent. Some links also you sent.
Yes, yes, yes.
So thank you very much.
Yes,
for
Prabhu. I will also share the yesterday's presentation and today's presentation. I will share both of them, and I will upload in Google Drive and share the link in the WhatsApp, so you could take benefit of that.
Thank you. I appreciate.
Okay. So today, in today's class, we will be discussing. First of all, we will discuss the disciplic succession of Sri Madhva Sampradaya. Yesterday we discussed it, but in very briefly only we discussed. So today I will be sharing more names in the disciplic succession, and also we will be talking about the mathas that were established by Madhvacharya. Different mathas which were established in Udupi Kshetra. And next we will be discussing about Madhva as the third incarnation of Vayudeva. So how Vayudeva, in Vayu Loka, there are many forms. Okay, of Vayudev, there are innumerable forms. And in some yugas, Vayudev has three principal forms. So one in Treta Yuga, one in Dwapar Yuga, and one in Kali Yuga. So that's what we see in this Manvantara. Okay. But if we see in other yugas, in other Manvantaras, Vayudev has different forms, and he comes in different incarnations and to preach the message of God. Then we will be discussing Madhva Siddhanta in brief. First of all, we will be talking like what we will be discussing in future, because there are many topics in Madhva Siddhanta. And first, we will list down all the main topics, and we will get a general overview, general idea of all the philosophical concepts. And in tomorrow's class, and also in today's class, we will be discussing some of the topics in detail. And then we will be also talking about his more instructions in his books. For example, his book is Vivek.
Oh, tomorrow there's no
Vivek.
class, right?
Oh, tomorrow is Saturday. Yes, yes, yes. Actually, how many devotees have come? Four devotees. So let's see. The numbers are actually decreasing. No problem. We will see if everyone is okay. Then tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we can also have session. If everyone is okay with that. Otherwise, we will resume on Monday.
No, Prabhu. Tomorrow we have others.
Others. So no problem. We will start. We will resume on Monday.
Monday. Thank you.
Then we will be discussing. Yes, Govind Madhav.
I'm sorry, Prabhuji. For planning purpose, next week, how many sessions we are expecting so that we can plan accordingly?
Yes, more 2 sessions. Monday and Tuesday. Done.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
In next session, we will be talking more about philosophical concepts, which is there in Madhva Siddhanta. And in the last class, we will be just establishing the connection with the relationship between our Sampradaya, how it is related to Madhva Sampradaya, and how many instructions do we follow, and why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that Sampradaya only. And also our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, that is Achintya Bhedabhed Tattva. What is that actually? And how it is different from other Vedants or other Vadas. And then we'll be concluding. So then we will be discussing about creation and destruction and his viewpoint regarding that, how the creation happens. And that's why I will be sharing Goloka chart, which is beautifully prepared by the devotees there in ISKCON Salem. It's in Tamil Nadu. So, and also we'll be discussing the position of Lakshmi Devi at the last. Yes. So, to facilitate the worship of Balakrishna, Madhvacharya appointed 8 sannyasis. Yesterday in the class, I listed down what all these sannyasis were. So Madhvacharya, he initiated 8 brahmacharis. They were Sri Rishikesha Tirtha, Sri Narahari Tirtha, Sri Janardhan Tirtha, Sri Upendra Tirtha, Sri Vamana Tirtha, Sri Vishnu Tirtha, Sri Rama Tirtha, and Sri Adhokshara Tirtha. So these 8 brahmachari disciples were initiated in sannyasa ashram, and they were given the seva of performing worship to Lord Balakrishna there in Udupi. So for 2 years, each sannyasi will take in charge of worshipping the Lord. Also, apart from these 8 sannyasis, he also awarded one householder disciple, one grihastha disciple. He gave sannyasa name as Padmanabha Tirtha. This name Padmanabha Tirtha also we find in when we see our disciplic succession, then also we find the name of Padmanabha Tirtha. So he also falls in the Madhva Sampradaya. And Sri Padmanabha Tirtha was in charge of Uttaradi Matha at Udupi. Now in Udupi, there are totally 8 principal mathas. Okay, 8 sannyasis and 8 principal mathas, and in each matha, different deities are being worshipped. For example, Nrsimha Deva, Vithala Deva, and then Lord who is standing on Kaliya Nagan, that deity is also there. So in that way, in different mathas, different deities are worshipped. And each mathadipatha or the adhipati, the main in charge of that matha, will be given the seva for 2 years to look after all the worship of Udupi Krishna. Okay. And Sri Padmanabha Tirtha's matha, which is there, which is actually different, which is like mainly it is situated in the northern Karnataka, and that's why it is called Uttaradhi Matha. So that's why the other 8 sannyasi disciples of Madhva, they were in charge of 8 principal mathas in Udupi. And each of these 8 mathas is associated with another matha and is therefore known as Dvandva Matha. So what used to happen, because each Mathadipati was in charge of for 2 years and he was looking after all the worship conducted in that Udupi Krishna temple. So it was not that only one matha like used to do all the things, but actually there used to be Dvandva Matha, or 2 mathas were together engaged in the service. So one matha will be the in charge and another matha which everything is fixed. Okay, if there is one matha, so this matha only will assist him. So one matha used to be the main in charge and another matha used to assist him. So this is the tradition still going on. If you go in Udupi, then the one matha will be mainly serving and another matha will be assisting that main matha. And in that way, they will be serving for 2 years. Now the disciplic succession. So the original, the main Acharya or the main of this Sampradaya, the origin of this Sampradaya, it started from Lord Vishnu in the form of Hamsa avatar. And Hamsa, Lord Hamsa, he gave instructions to Lord Brahma. And Brahma gave instructions to 4 Kumaras. Kumaras, they gave it to Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni gave it to Jnana Nidhi Tirtha and other personalities. And thus in disciplic succession, Satya Pragya came and he received the instructions. He received the transcendental knowledge. And Satya Pragya, he gave it to Pragya Tirtha. So yesterday also we were talking about Pragya Tirtha. Shankaracharya told to his disciples, if you want to keep your Kevaladvaitavada to be to be preached and to be stable, and that Kevaladvaita philosophy be preached all over the world. So then you have to convert Pragya Tirtha in Kevaladvaitavadi. Otherwise, our Sampradaya will become lost. Our whole philosophy will eventually decline. And in order to prevent that, you need to stop Pragya Tirtha. So that's what the Kevaladvaitavadis, they burned all the scripture, all the manuscripts which were written by Pragya Tirtha, wherein he explained the philosophy of Dvaitavada. And they took his sacred thread and so many things. They destroyed his matha. So in that way, they tried to stop him forcefully. They took his own dharma, his code of conduct, but internally he was fixed in teachings. So whatever he preached, so he was very much fixed, and even an inch his faith was not disturbed. Then his disciple was Achyuta Preksha, and as we know, Madhvacharya was serving in that temple, Rajati Pithapura. So he was serving Achyuta Preksha in Ananteshwar temple, and he was glorifying the philosophy of Dvaitavada. And thus Achyuta Preksha gave him sannyasa at the age of 12. And thus after Madhvacharya, disciples, okay, so mainly the 8 sannyasi disciples, then from 8 sannyasi disciples, different more personalities came in that disciplic succession. For example, Akshobhya, Jayatirtha, Vidyadhiraja, Kavindra, Bhagisha, Ramachandra, Vidyanidhi, Sri Raghunath, and in that way, many personalities. It's totally, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj is listed down. Around 10 pages, the names are being given. So many personalities came in this Madhva Sampradaya. Okay. Now, as we were talking about the Dvandva Mathas, or one Matha will be the in charge and another Matha will be assisting him. So, like that used to happen. And in that rotation, will happen. So, Palamara Matha will be the in charge and Adamara Matha will assist him. Then Krishnapura Matha, then Puttich Matha. Sri Ruru Matha, and then Sode Matha, and then Kanuru Matha and Pejavar Matha. Okay. So these are the 8 mathas, and these 8 mathas, each mathas have different deities, and these all deities were established by Madhvacharya himself. What are those deities? So they are worshipped in those mathas. In Palamara Matha, Lord Ramachandra is being worshipped. Adamara Matha, 4-armed Lord Krishna, who is subduing Kaliya, he is worshipped. Krishnapura Matha, again 4-armed Lord Krishna subduing Kaliya. Puttij Matha, Puttige Matha, I'm not able to pronounce it properly. I think there are some Kannada names, so I'm really sorry for that. The
Prabhu,
deity of
Puttige Matha, Prabhu.
what is the
Puttige.
name?
Puttige Matha. Puttige.
I'm really sorry. I cannot pronounce properly. Yes, Puttige Matha, deity of Vitthala Deva. Then Sri Ruru Matha, where Lord Vitthala Deva is being worshipped. And this Matari, Sode Matha, how to pronounce?
Sode
Sode
Matha.
Matha. Sode Matha, where Lord Varaha Deva is worshipped. And Kannuru Matha, Lord Nrsimha Deva is worshipped. And Pejavar Matha, Lord Vitthala Deva is being worshipped. Okay. So, in that way, in their mathas, the worship of the deities are going on. And each matha will be given for 2 years, they will be given the seva to oversee, and to organize all the sevas, all the worship to be performed in Udupi Krishna temple. Now, in Madhva Sampradaya, there are actually 2 divisions. What are those? So, there are 2 divisions, namely Dasa Shukta and Vyasa Shukta. So, Dasa Shukta, they are those who are more inclined towards chanting and worshipping the deity rather than discussing Sanskrit literature or Vedic literature. So, in our Sampradaya also, we also sometimes refer, for example, Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj. He was more inclined to do bhajan. He was always doing bhajan. And he was in that mood. And he was not Goshthanandi or preaching outside and actively going outside and preaching the message of God. But he was Bhajananandi. So in the similar way, in Madhva Sampradaya also, there is this Dasa Shukta, which means that they know all the philosophy. They have actually digested all the philosophy, all the philosophy of given in Vedic literature. But they have their own mood and they are more inclined towards chanting and worshipping the deity. So they are referred to as Bhajananandis, and they are not ignorant of the scriptures. Okay. So in the famous this Dasa Shukta sect or the division, famous Kanakadas was a famous poet, and he wrote many kavyas, beautiful kavyas in Kannada, in very simple Kannada language. And he was in that bhava. So there are also literatures in Dasa Shukta division, and mainly they glorify the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So I think you would have heard about Kanakadas' name before also. He was a famous poet, and some of his renditions are still available. And Vyasa Sukta, another division of Madhva in Madhva Sampradaya is Vyasa Sukta. So you could understand Vyasa. So those who are actually engaged in preaching activities, they are referred to as Ghoshthanandis. So they go out, they are parivrajakacha. They go out, they don't live at one place. They go to different places and preach the message of Godhead. And they teach Sanskrit and the Vedic literature in their Sam. So famous example is Vadiraj Swami. Vadiraj Swami, he came actually in the disciplic succession of Madhva Sampradaya only. And because he has written many literature, so many books he has written. That's why he is considered, in Madhva Sampradaya, Vadiraj Swami is considered to be second Madhvacharya. And he contributed a lot. So in this book, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj is writing all of his biography, that how was his preaching and how many books he wrote, and he refuted Mayavada and vigorously he preached the Dvaitavada philosophy. So he's a famous example of Vyasa Sukta division. Then further on, we can also find there were many famous personalities who appeared in the disciplic succession of Madhva Sampradaya, and they wrote many transcendental literature. So what are their contributions? Actually, there are many devotees whose names are given, but I have just listed down the very famous ones. Of course, all are famous ones, but presently, which we hear very often. So Sri Jayatirtha's Nyaya Sudha. So Jayatirtha happened to be coming in the disciplic section of Madhvacharya, and he has written many books, and one of them is Nyaya Sudha. It is stated that in order to understand Nyaya Sudha, one has to be very well conversant in Madhva's Dvaitavada. And in Madhva Sampradaya, it is a practice that whoever acharyas, when one acharya or another person will ask to one person that, oh, so how many times have you tasted that Sudha? How many times you have read or have understood that Sudha? So based on that, his seniority will be measured. So how many times you have understood, or how many times you have read Nyaya Sudha? So according to that, they used to actually, like measure their seniority, or they used to give so much of respect to them. So even in our Prabhupada books also, sometimes we see, oh, Prabhuji has read 20 times Srimad Bhagavatam, 15 times Chaitanya Charitamrita. So in that way, we also become very enchanted. Oh, really so great devotee. He must have actually realized knowledge which is given in Prabhupada books. So in that way, they used to also like ask, how many times have you read Nyaya? Based on that, they used to measure the seniority. Then another great Acharya, Narayana Pandit, he has written Madhva Vijaya. So in Madhva Vijaya, he has, first of all, in first 3 chapters, he has actually explained first 2 or 3 chapters. He is talking about the life of Hanuman and of Bhima, and then the rest of the book is fully, he is describing all the pastimes which Madhvacharya did in his life. So that is written in Madhva Vijaya. Then Vyasa Tirtha, another great Acharya, he has written Nyayamritam. So Nyayamritam, in this book, there is so much of refutation against Mayavada, and very nicely Vyasa Tirtha, he's establishing the Dvaitavada and refuting all the Mayavada's oppositions. Another very great book. Then Vadiraja Swami, Yukti Mallika, and Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya Tika. So Madhvacharya wrote Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, and Vadiraja Swami wrote the commentary on that. So Yukti Mallika. This Yukti Mallika book is taught, and it is there in the syllabus of Shastri degree or BA degree, which is being offered here in Tirupati National Sanskrit University. In Tirupati, different Vedantas are being taught. For example, Advaita Vedanta is being taught. Then Dvaita Vedanta, Vishishtadvaita Vedanta, Nyaya Shastra, Agam Shastra. What else? Purana Itihasa, Mimamsa. In that way, many domains are there, many Shastras are there. And similarly, like BA, like we have in like arts, Bachelor of Arts. In the similar way, for Sanskrit study in that university, we call it as Shastri degree. And in Shastri degree, we have around more than 20 Shastras, Vyakaran, Sahitya, Vedanta, Jyotisha, many others. So in that way, the students come here presently there are around 2,000 students from primarily from Odisha and also many from North India. Very less from Tirupati. I was very much like shocked to know how come so nice university is there and still people in Tirupati, they are not much like interested in studying this Vedic things. So and that way, the students come here and they study the Shastra and they take the main domain and they do Shastri in that. So the students who are taking Madhva Vedanta here, Dvaita Vedanta. So in that syllabus, in his syllabus, Yukti Mallika is also being taught in first year or second year. They teach it fully. And also Mahabharata Tatpanya and many other books. In Acharya degree, or Acharya is equivalent to MA, Master of Arts. They teach Sutra Bhashya, Madhvacharya's commentary on Vedanta Sutra and other books. Then Sri Raghavendra Tirtha, he also has written Shuddha Parimal. So in that way, there are many Acharyas happened and they have written excellent books when explaining the Siddhanta in very much detail and in very profound way. Okay. So this was all some general overview of the famous personalities and their contributions. Okay. Until now, any questions are there? Any questions? Okay. Then now we will talk about Sri
Sorry,
Madhvacharya.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Govind Madhav.
Prabhuji, you gave the different deities of the different mathas,
Yes.
and I found like there are three mathas having the Vittal Dev's Murti or deity of the Vittal Dev.
Yes, yes.
Is there any significance of that, or can you elaborate more on that one?
Actually, see 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So Madhvacharya, it is stated that Madhvacharya established 4 deities. 4 deities, that is Ramachandra and 4-armed Lord Krishna subduing Kaliya, and Vitthaladev and Nrsimhadev. Varahadev, I am not sure, but it could be Varahadev also, Nrsimhadev also. So I have not gone into very much details why Madhvacharya established only those deities and not other deities. There could be definitely some pastime, Prabhu, and regarding that why Madhvacharya established these deities. And also, Prabhu, one more thing is that these mathas are established in different villages in Udupi. So there could be some pastime related to that particular village. And some pastime would have happened there, like related to Vithala Deva or Nrsimhadev. So I'm just speculating, but that definitely there could be some more pastimes regarding why he chose these 4 deities.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Maybe I could do some more research and get back to you. Why Madhvacharya selected?
I'm trying to understand if, because those who follow Vitthal Dev in Maharashtra, there is a separate sampradaya, Warkari sampradaya. And that's I'm trying to correlate that and understand that. That's why my question was, when I see that Vitthal Dev 3 times,
Yes.
is there any, or is that like geographically closer to, because Udupi and Pandharpur?
Wonderful.
So
But
is
Prabhu, they
there
are very far actually. I don't think Karnataka is here and Maharashtra is. I think it's like far, and there definitely there could be some history behind that. That how the
okay?
deities Vithala Deva would have been there in even Karnataka. We have to do more research.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes. So establishing Madhvacharya as the third incarnation of Vayudeva. Madhvacharya himself writes in Brahma Sutra, 2nd chapter, 4th pada, 13th sutra. In Vayuloka, the principal Vayu or Mukhya Prana is present. And Mukhya Prana is having 5 forms: Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, and Samana. So these are the five airs which are there in the body of every living entity, and the Atma, the soul, is actually floating in these 5 airs. In our bodies, these 5 airs are present, and the soul is floating in those 5 airs. And these 5 forms of Mukhya Prana, principal Vayudeva, they have 5 sons respectively of their, and the names of those 5 sons are same. So the son of Prana is a Prana, the son of Apana is Apana, the son of Vyana is Vyana, Udana, and Samana, like that. And they are born, these all 5 sons are born from the womb of goddess Bharati. Among the 5 sons, Prana, which is there, the first son, is also called Nasikya Vayu. Okay. Nasikya Vayu. This is one of the names of the deities, predominating deities of the 10 directions. So Nasikya Vayu is one of the predominating deities for the 10 directions. The directions, and one of the deities for that direction is Nasikya Vayu. Among them,
Prabhu, you're getting cut off, Prabhu.
among them,
Cannot hear you. Last part we couldn't hear.
now Mataji, is it properly audible?
Yes, now it's proper, audible. Just the last part we couldn't hear. You said something about Nasikya Vayu being deity
Yes.
for all the directions.
No, not for all directions. One of the Nasikya Vayu is one of the predominating deity of the 10 directions. So for each direction, there is one predominating deity, and Nasikya Vayu is one of them. So from Nasikya Vayu, innumerable Vayus emanate, and among them, 49 forms of Vayus are prominent. Now the Mukhya Prana is the source, the Mukhya Prana, okay, the original. In Vayuloka, the principal Vayu, the Mukhya Prana, is present, is the deity. And he is the source of all the forms, all the different innumerable forms of Vayu. And these forms, these innumerable forms, appear as expansions in different yugas, okay, in different yugas of different manvantaras. And in some yugas, Pradhana Vayu or the Mukhya Prana incarnates in three principal forms. What are they? In Treta Yuga as Hanuman, in Dwapar Yuga as Bhima, and in Kali Yuga as Madhvacharya. And all these details which I am mentioning here is confirmed by Madhvacharya himself in Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya and by many different acharyas, including Vadiraja Swami. And also in Rig Veda, many sutras are there, and the whole section of the sutras, which is called a sukta, that is Pavamana Sukta, and the whole sukta is in those sutras, the appearance of Madhvacharya is confirmed, and whole about even the description which is being given, that how the Vayu have different innumerable forms and in which yuga different forms of Vayu incarnate. So that is also mentioned in Pavamana Sutta. It is very elaborately mentioned in the book. So I have actually shared the Hindi translation of the book. If you are interested in reading all of the sutras, then you can read that. Or otherwise, I can also take the photos of the pages wherein the sutras are mentioned, and I can share them in the WhatsApp.
Prabhu, suktas or sutras?
No. The sukta, see, in sukta, many sutras come. Okay, so there is a sukta, it's a section of sutras. There are many sutras in a sutta.
So Pavamana Sutta will have many sutras.
Many
is it?
sutras.
Okay.
Now, Madhva Siddhanta in brief. Okay, so each philosophical concept which is being mentioned, we will eventually elaborate. Okay? But these are all the topics which we will discuss in future in more elaborate. So the first thing, I will just read all of the line. Shriman Madhvamate Harif Paratara Satyam Jagat Tatvato Bhedo Jivagana Hare Ranuchara Nichocha Bhavam Gata Muktir Naija Sukhanubhutir Amala Bhaktischa Tat Sadhanam Yakshadi Tritayam Pramanam Akhilam Nayayika Vedyo Harihi. This is the verse wherein Sri Madhvacharya's doctrine is explained in brief, and this verse is actually quoted by even Vadiraja Swami and many great acharyas. So that's why whenever if we ask any Madhvacharya, any acharya who is there in Madhva Sampradaya, that please explain Madhva Siddhanta. So immediately he will quote this. He will quote whole verse. Okay. So Lord Vishnu, the first Siddhanta. Lord Vishnu is the supreme personality of God. The material world is real and factual. Okay. It's not that Brahma Satyam and Jagat Mithya. That is wrong conception. Madhvacharya clearly explained that material world which we are seeing is real. It would be okay that in effect we are able to see it is temporary. In effect, because when the material world is taking the form, so in the gross form, then we could find it is temporary, but actually it is eternal and it is real. It could be temporary, but it is not mithya. Then third Siddhanta, he explains that there are 5 eternal distinctions or differences between the Lord and living entities and between the Lord and material world. So eventually we will be discussing what are those 5 differences which he is talking about. And fourth Siddhanta is that Hare Anuchara. Okay. Jiva Gana Hare Anuchara. All the living entities are Lord Hari's servants. All living entities, the fifth Siddhanta, are distinguished by their qualifications. Nichocha bhavam gataha. Someone is senior, someone is lower. Okay. Someone is high in his high position, someone is lower position. In that way. So by their qualifications, the living entities are distinguished. And there are more distinctions actually, which we will be discussing elaborately. Sixth Siddhanta, what is that? The real dharma of Jiva is bhakti. Okay. Bhaktischa tat sadhana. Then next is yakshadi tritayam pramanam. There are three types of evidences. What are those? Pratyaksha, sense perception. Anumana, hypothesis. And Shabda, the Vedic conclusion or the Vedic tradition. So that is Shabda Praman, Vedic literature. Then next is Lord Hari is the only object of all the Vedas. Akhila Amnayaika, Akhila Amnaya, or all the Vedas. Eka Vedyo Harihi. And realization of the Lord is only possible by spiritual knowledge coming down in discipline. So this verse is also quoted by Baladev Vidyabhushan in his Prameya Ratnavali. And also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also he quoted this verse. And he also accepted all this Siddhanta. And that's why he also implemented this Siddhanta in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. And that's why we include Madhvacharya's name in our Sampradaya. This is one of the reasons why do we include his name in our Sampradaya. Because all the Siddhanta which are there, so that we accept. What else? There are some more instructions which are being given. So he tells that Lord Vishnu eternally exists as the origin of all the living entities. And all the jivas in the spiritual world have Satchidananda Vigraha forms. Anandamayo Bhyasat. The jivas' eternal nature is what? He has to be situated in Anandamaya, Satchidananda Vigraha. Lord manifests unlimited eternal forms in the spiritual. In Vaikuntha, we can see in Vaikuntha, in Golok Vrindavan, there are eternal forms, different, unlimited eternal forms. And the individual living entities are also present as the reflections of transcendental forms of the Supreme. So reflections, what do we mean by this word reflections? Reflections means that we are also his energies. Okay. So there are different energies. Tatastha Shakti, Antaranga Shakti, and Bahiranga Shakti. And we are also parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. We also have eternal form. We also have quality. We also have nature like Supreme Lord. We also have Satchidananda Vigraha. But the quantitatively, we are less than the Lord. And that's why we are reflections of the transcendental forms of the Supreme. Now he is refuting that if there was no form of the Supreme Lord, then there would be no possibility of jivas having form. So in this material world, we can see that there is so much of variegatedness. There are so many different types of colors. In trees, there are so many different types of flowers, different types of trees, different types of insects. 84 lakhs of species. Oh my God, so many varieties actually. And different forms. So how can you conclude that the Supreme Lord, who is the origin of all these living entities, he does not have? The Supreme Lord is also having the form Satchidananda Vigraha. The Mayavadis, they consider that Jivas to be the reflections of Brahman, but with designation. So when some part of Brahman, when it is in avidya, then the Jiva, then we have a form and we think and we are in that ahankar. Okay. And we become conditioned because that Brahman, that part of Brahman is covered by avidya with designations. We impose material designation upon us. That is the whole philosophy of Mayavad. And what will happen when that avidya will be removed by the jnana vidya or by the jnana, then our avidya will be removed, and after liberation we will merge in that Brahman. So that is the whole philosophy of Mayavad. And Brahman is nirakara, no form. Okay, there are no forms. But when Brahman, some part of Brahman is covered by avidya, then the jiva, we can see, okay, that we are having some forms. But and Mayavadis explain that even Krishna, when he also appears, when he also comes, so he is also covered by Maya. He is also covered by avidya, and he is also Brahman only, but there is some covering of avidya of that particular some part of Brahman, and that's why he's. And after Krishna leaves this material world, he will also emerge in Brahman. This is whole philosophy of Mayavad. And Madhvacharya is refuting that. Madhva's conclusion is distinct from Mayavadi's. Madhvacharya says, there is a similarity between the form and quality of the pure Supreme Lord and Jivas. Form means Satchidananda Vigraha. And qualitatively, we are same with the Supreme. Nityo Nityanam Chaitana Chaitana. But the difference between the Jivas and Supreme Lord is that the Jiva's knowledge and bliss are partial, whereas the knowledge and bliss of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is full. Okay, the Jivas they also experience bliss and knowledge, but in the less quantity, not in the full quantity like the Supreme Personality of God. The Jivas are there to mend. The Jivas are there to serve the Lord. Okay, and their happiness and their whatever they are having, the jnana or whatever they are having, so that will not be like the Supreme Lord. So Supreme Lord is having all the Shad Aishwarya, 6 opulences. Aishwaryasya samagrasya Viryasya yashashriyah Jnana Vairagyyoschaiva Shannam Bhaga Itingana. Parashara Muni, he explains the meaning of the word Bhagavan. Who is Bhagavan? So those who is having, the person who is having all these 6 opulences in fullest extent, he is considered to be Bhagavan. Bhaga means opulences and Van means the possessor of those opulences. The Jivas can also have those opulences. For example, Vairagya. Vairagya is there, but it is not in the fullest extent. It is there, but in the less quantity. And all the other attributes which are there, so they are also in the less quantity. So whatever varieties of forms are in existence, the Jivas, okay, they have their origin in Supreme Lord. At present, the conditioned souls have received and will continue to receive varieties of bodies as results of their karma. So presently, why there is punarjanma again and again, why it is happening? Because of our past reactions, karmic reactions. And the result of our karma which we have done in the past lives, as a result of that, we are getting different types of bodies. And all these gross bodies, these material bodies, they are not pure reflections of Lord. They are not pure reflections of Lord. So because this is jada, this material body is jada, so it is not nitya. In its cause form, it is nitya, but in effect form, this is all temporary. Eventually, this body will also be destroyed. So at present, a person may have a human body. For example, maybe we are having human body. But his Swarupa, in his constitutional position in Golok, Vrindavan or in Vaikuntha, he may be that of a monkey or some other form in the service of the Supreme Lord. So not necessarily whatever form now you are having, that will be the same form in the Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan. But all these animals or all the forms of the body we will be getting, our Swarupa has. So that Swarupa we are all serving the Supreme Lord in different ways. So one cannot presume someone's eternal body is seeing his present gross body. So we cannot presume that the gross body which we are having, so that is the same that in our Swarupas. So now I am Chaitanya Jivandas and I am how I look, how is my facial structure and body, how I look. So that will not be the same there in our Swarup, but in different structure. The gross and subtle bodies of conditioned souls are coverings of their original spiritual. So they are the impositions. They are the upadhis to the soul, spirit soul. Okay. What else? Lord Hari has two kinds of expanded forms. First one is his reflected parts and parcels. Okay, that is his living entities, okay, jivas, and his plenary portions. Like, so the reflections are of two types: those that are materially designated, apara shakti, and those that are completely pure, parashakti. So first of all, Lord Hari is having two kinds of expanded forms. One is jivas, another is the nitya, the nitya mukta or the eternal associates of the Supreme Lord. Or no, not eternal associates. His plenary portions, such as Nrsimha, Rama, and other plenary portions, Balram. So these are all his plenary portions. And another kind of expanded form is his reflected parts and parcels. Those are the jivas. And among the reflected parts and parcels, there are again two types. First type is those that are materially designated, or the jada, the jada prakriti, aparashakti, bahiranga shakti, he's talking. And those that are completely pure, the spirit soul, parashakti. Okay. So jivas are pure reflections and material bodies are designations, like rainbow in the sky is designated reflection of the sun. Like the rainbow in the sky is a designated reflection of the sun, which is also temporary. So this material body which we are having, this is also temporary. So this is what Madhvacharya is explaining about the expansions of Lord. Okay. We are also expansions, but we are parts and parcels of the Supreme. And there are two kinds of expanded forms. So these are the categories. Next, he is explaining that at the beginning of the day of Brahma, Lord Vishnu is manifesting himself as four different forms: Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, for the purpose of the creation. Okay, so these for the second quadruple expansion, there is original quadruple expansion, then there is another second quadruple expansion, and in the form of Pradyumna. And we have heard that Shiva, Viranchi, and the Lord Brahma, so they are responsible for creation, maintenance, and destruction. Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva, they are responsible for creation, maintenance, and destruction. So now here, we have to understand that Pradyumna, he infuses Lord Brahma with the energy, with the creative energy. And then only Brahma is able to create, able to do the Visarga or the secondary creation. Okay, Sarga is done by the Lord and Visarga is done by Lord. So Pradyumna infuses with the creative energy. He gives that creative energy to Lord Brahma. And then Lord Brahma is able to create the universe. Aniruddha. Okay, Aniruddha, or he is in the form of Vishnu. So he is actually maintaining the whole creation. And Sankarshana, he infuses the destructive energy uh, with destructive energy to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva then he is able to do the destruction of the whole universe. And the fourth one, Vasudeva, in the form of Vasudeva, Lord grants the goal of life or the mukti, liberation to Jesus. So these are the four different activities of the four different forms, quadruple expansions. These are the services of those four different forms. So Brahma, Shiva, they are not independently, they cannot do that. But actually, the Vishnu is expanding in different forms, and then they are able to infuse them with that energies, and then only those personalities are able to perform their services. Now we will talk about a bit more about creation and destruction. So there are two functions. Okay, there are two functions. Lord Vishnu, in the form of Pradyumna, he invests the energy to create in four-headed Brahma. In the form of Sankarshana, invests the energy to annihilate in Rudra. Okay, and these four forms of Supreme Lord remain present in material creation. Okay, these four forms of the Supreme Lord, they remain present in the material creation. And Lord Vishnu in 24 forms. Okay, there are 12 forms and there are more 12 forms. So in that way, there are 24 forms, and they are controlling 24 different demigods who are in charge of 24 elements. So what are those? Just share. I think here it is mentioned. Yes, this is the one. Vaibhava Vilas, Dvitiya Chaturvyuha. So these are the 24 forms, and they are in charge. They only give the power to the different 24 demigods, and they are in charge of the 24 creative elements. So those are what? Mahatattva, Ahankara, then 5 Tanmatra, 5 Karmendriya, 5 Gyanendriya. In that way, mind, intelligence, in that way it becomes 24. So these 24 demigods, they are in charge of the 24 demigods. So Dvitiya Chaturvyu, first of all, Tadekatma Rupa. Swayam Rupa is the original form of Krishna as a cowherd boy in Vrindavana. And then he has Swayam Prakasha, Prabhava Prakasha and Vaibhava Prakasha. Then from Balramji, Tadekatma Rupa of Vilasa. So then Adi Chaturvyu, Prabhava Vilasa, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna. Then again from Sankarshana, Vaibhava Vilasa, Lord Narayan is there. And then from there, the Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. So these Sankarshana, the Adi Chaturvyuha, they are situated in Golok Vrindavana, in Dwarka, Mathura. And from Sankarshana, the Dvitiya Chaturvyuha comes, and from him, Lord Narayan, different form comes. So his expansion of Sankarshana, and he is situated there in Vaikuntha. And from Lord Narayana, again, Dvitiya Chaturvyuha. Okay. From again Sankarshana, Swamsha, the Purusha avatars, Karan Dakshaya Vishnu, Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu, Kshiro Dakshaya Vishnu. And then there are more Avesha incarnations, the Leela avatars, Guna avatars, Yuga avatars, Manvantara avatars. So Avesha incarnation are what? A living entity who is specially empowered by the Lord with knowledge or strength. So this was. Then next, he further goes on to explain that the Lord is controlling 4 states of existence. The jivas, they are in different states of existence. So one is awakening or jagrata. Presently, we are awakened. Jagrata and second state of existence. Yes, Madhu.
Can we do this on Monday because it's late
Oh,
already?
it is already 8:30. It's already 8:45. Okay, so we will see. We will cover this in the next class because there is more, and I wanted to explain whole process of creation to the help of Goloka Charta. No problem. At the last, I will just conclude by covering one point. Uh, yeah, then we will talk about the conclusion regarding Lakshmi. Okay, no problem. So in the next class, we will cover this, the remaining things which we were not able to cover in the present class, today's class, and also we will be discussing about Madhva's conclusion that the material world is real. He's quoting from different shastras, and then we will be seeing about the different distinctions, 5 categories of distinctions. Then third, we will be discussing Madhva Siddhanta regarding jivas, Madhva Siddhanta regarding mukti, liberation. Then 3 kinds of evidence, okay, 3 pramanas. Then reasons to accept Sri Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Achintya Bhedabhed Tattva, and uniqueness of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava. So this we will be discussing in the next classes. Okay. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
You nicely, using the chart, you explained about the presiding deities of the 24 elements.
Yeah. Actually, this is a
Is
wonderful chart. I will, if you want, then I can share in the WhatsApp group. It is very good chart, and you can see everything is there, starting from Goloka Vrindavan. So this is Golok Vrindavan, and Lord Krishna is there, and then there are gopis, and the whole Golok Vrindavan is actually in the core of the lotus. It is in the
yes,
lotus, and different deities are present in order to protect Golok Vrindavan. Like they are there in all 4 directions, not in 4, but in 10 directions actually. Then after that, there is Mathura, Jagannath Puri, Dwarka, and then later on there is between Vaikuntha and between Vaikuntha and Golok Vrindavan, there is Ayodhya, where Lord Ramachandra resides. Is Saket Ayodhya. So, and then there is Vaikuntha, and see so many different incarnations, so innumerable forms of Vishnu. They are there in Vaikuntha. And Vaikuntha planet, there are so many different planets actually. Like for example, each deities which are there, each form is there, so they have their own planet. Okay? And there are the Vaikuntha Lord Vishnu. He is accompanied by many Shaktis: Ananta, Jnana, Leela, Vishwaksin, Vairagya. And then after that, from Vaikuntha only, from Lord Vishnu's body, Brahma Jyoti is coming. Brahma Jyoti is coming. So this is there, and then there is this Viraja river, okay, which we have to cross. So on the other side, material world is there. On the another side, there is Vaikuntha planets and Golok. That's why we are called Tatastha Shakti. The Jiva can be at this side of the Tata, or this side of the seashore, Viraja river, it's seashore, and or either the another side of shore. So that's why it is called Tatastha. Tata means the shore and Stha means situated. Now we are situated on the side of material creation. And we have to cross over the Karana or Viraja. And this is called the material creation which happens. And in each universe, there are so many innumerable universes, they emanate from Mahavishnu's body. And in each universe, this type of structure is there. 14 planetary systems, Dhruva Loka is there. And then in that, each Bhumandala, the universe, half universe is filled with Garbhodaka Saga. And over that, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, he is sleeping. And from his navel, Lord Brahma, he comes and he sits on the lotus flower. And the stem which is there, the stem, so there only all the 14 planetary systems, Satyaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka. And nearby the Svaraloka, the abode of the demigods, there is Dhruvaloka, where Kshirodakshaya Vishnu also resides. So Kshirodakshaya Vishnu in the form of Paramatma is residing in all of the living entities' hearts. So, and then there is whole creation explained in detail, how actually this is working. There is this plate, and above that all the planets are moving, and Dhruvaloka is the pole star, and through the pole star all the planets are connected, and Dhruvaloka only is rotating all of these planets, including Sun, Moon, Jupiter, many other planets. Yes, and there is so much. So in next class, we'll be discussing about creation more in detail. Madhvacharya explains about that there is Shveta Dvipa. And in Shveta Dvipa, there are different living entities situated. The Mukta Stha and the Baddha Stha. Those who are conditioned and those who are liberated. So this we'll be discussing.
Prabhuji, my question was about those 24 elements presiding deities are described.
Yes.
Is there any information about which deity is presiding over which particular element? Here we get the 24.
Yes. Everything is there. In this chart, it is not mentioned, but I have the list. I actually was thinking to, while I was preparing the slides, I was just thinking to put all those presiding deities, the demigods also, and the respective lords who are controlling all these 24 elements. So I have that whole chart. And in the next class, maybe I can include that in the slides, or also I can share in the WhatsApp. I will give you that.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, there is a slide on the Siddhanta in brief. I think there are 2 slides.
Yes.
And I think on the first slide of those 2, one of the points is mentioned, the Lord Vishnu alone is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes.
Does this mean that Madhav Sampradaya, as per the Siddhanta, they
Yes.
don't believe that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? They believe Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Yeah, Prabhu. Madhvacharya mainly, even in his Sampradaya, the worship of Lakshmi Narayan. See, also we can see Madhvacharya is also accepting Krishna. Otherwise, why would he establish the temple of Udupi? Like Udupi Krishna, Bala Krishna is there. So he definitely is accepting Lord Krishna. But sometimes there are also some instances, even in Prabhupada's purports, we can find that sometimes the word Krishna and Vishnu they are interchangeable. Sometimes he interchanges that, okay, he wants to ultimately, because Lord Vishnu is primarily, he's taking care of the whole creation and everything is taking care of that. So that's why sometimes we ultimately refer, okay, Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I heard from some senior devotees that Prabhupada sometimes he used to interchange this word Lord Vishnu with Lord Krishna also. That Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and sometimes we'll tell Lord Vishnu is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But definitely, when we will be talking about his mukti, okay, when we will be talking about what is his viewpoint of mukti, then we can get more clear idea that what was his viewpoint. Like, okay, ultimately we have to go to Vaikuntha and we have to serve there. So regarding that, we have to like more understand how Madhvacharya was talking about Lord Vishnu's position and Lord Krishna's position. But presently, I have to do more research. I have some more homework to do about that, his Siddhanta regarding Krishna. Because if he just believed about only Lord Vishnu, then he would have not established that Balakrishna temple.
Right.
So, yes, Prabhu. But this one is there, Prabhu. I have heard from many senior devotees that Lord Vishnu's name is sometimes interchangeable with Lord Krishna's name. So Madhvacharya was definitely, he definitely knew that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he accepted that. But sometimes in a view of creative point, like because Lord Krishna is engaged in his pastimes. But if we see in creation in Vaikuntha planets, then according to that, we can find the Lord Krishna expands himself into another form, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu takes care of all the, these activities. So in that way, sometimes Lord Vishnu is told as the Supreme Personality of God, and there is no doubt about it. Lord Vishnu is only the Supreme Personality of God, but Lord Krishna is having more 4 qualities. Lord Vishnu is having 60 qualities, and Lord Krishna has more 4 transcendental qualities. So it is not that there is like nichocha in the tattva. It's just that there is some nichocha, or there is some hierarchy based on the rasa vichara. So based on the service of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna has given him those many qualities so that the services could be performed. But that is only Lord Krishna's another form to perform some particular services. And Lord Krishna is engaged in transcendental pastimes, and he is having the 4 madhurya, 4 different qualities. Those are Leela Madhurya, Guna Madhurya, Prem Madhurya, and Bhakta Madhurya. So these 4 things we can primarily see in Krishna, and Lord Vishnu has only 60 qualities. Yes, Prabhu, but definitely these things about Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna, we will get it more clear when we will try to understand his Siddhanta in detail. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Is the Lord Hari also then, because my original question was, because on the bullet 1, Lord Vishnu is referred, and then on bullet 4, Lord Hari, means all the jivas are servants of the Lord Hari. And
Yes.
also on the second slide, Hari is mentioned. So I was trying to understand that clearly. So
Yes.
is Hari also mentioned to Vishnu, or it's something different? That I'm trying to get it clear understanding.
See, Prabhu, definitely there are different, so many names of Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu is also indicated by word Hari. Even Lord Krishna is also indicated by the word Hari. So the words, like this type of words, are interchangeable, but he is trying to denote to the same person, to the same Lord Vishnu only, but he's explaining with different names. But ultimately, Lord Hari, the word is there, but that is also denoting to the Lord Vishnu. And mainly we'll be talking about Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna. So what his viewpoint is there. And today only I was thinking to call one devotee who is a Madhvite, and he is very learned. So I wanted to get more clarification regarding Madhva Siddhanta regarding Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna, because in this book not much is mentioned. So I have to do more over that. And I will definitely include these things in the next class.
No, knowing what you are explaining is also more than what we know. So that is also helpful, but just trying to get more clarity.
Yeah, yes.
And
please.
another question, Prabhuji, is Vayu Devata
Yes.
and three incarnations, Hanumanji, Bhim, and then Madhvacharya.
Yes.
And we are discussing only from this particular Brahma's creation or our earthly planet's creation. So how about other universes or other in the same universe, but on different 14 lokas are there, 14 planets are there. So how, because I always, I'm not getting that clarity where only Hanumanji came on when the Ramchandra came, and then Hanumanji was there. Along with Pandavas, Bhimdev came, and Madhvacharya came recently. So are they taking incarnations on some other planets of the same universe and different universes as well, or nothing is mentioned in the scriptures?
Prabhu, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this discussion comes that once Lord Brahma arrived to the door of Lord Krishna, and then the doorkeeper, he went to inform Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, that Brahma has come. And Lord Krishna told, which type of Brahma? Who is that Brahma? Then that doorkeeper again went and he asked Lord Brahma that which type of Brahma you are, and which type of Brahma you are. So he told that. Then he was surprised. Oh, am I only one Brahma, or there are other Brahmas also? So then he told, I am four-headed Brahma. Then that time only Lord Krishna, he reveals that actually there are many universes, and there are many Brahmas having so many different heads. Some are having 10 million heads. Some are having 1,000 heads. But presently, in which universe we are living, so the Lord Brahma is having four heads. So Prabhu, in Shastras, it is definitely mentioned, and even by different Acharyas, that all those forms, like all the expansions of the Lord, for example, Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimha, and other incarnations of the Lord. So they are eternally there, and they, after their pastimes are done in the present Manvantara or the days of the Brahma, then they go to different universes. They go to different universes, and they have many expansions, and simultaneously so many pastimes of innumerable forms of the Supreme God. So that is also happening simultaneously. So after the pastime is done of Nrsimha Deva here, then he goes to different universe, and there he performs pastimes. So in that way, Prabhu, in different universes also, they have 14 planetary systems, and they of course about different and other universes, their structure, about their whole material universe structure in detail, it is not, we don't find actually in Puranas also presently, but in their universes, they would have different Vyasadeva, and they would have different structure of the universe. But primarily, the structure which is like being stated in the Vedas, it is there that 14 planetary systems are there, and this type of only Karnadakshay Vishnu comes and he glances, and Garbhodakshay Vishnu goes. So almost same structure is there, but definitely because there are different heads of Brahma and different numbers of heads of Brahma. So there could be little bit like different, what you tell, different there could be different variations of the structure of the universe. So even in different universes, the creation happens. but there could be some different variations, and the incarnations of the Supreme Lord, they also perform their pastimes in those universes. Yes, Prabhu. So
Thank you,
that is,
Prabhuji. I appreciate.
but in
Yeah.
presently in our Puranas and Vedas, the information about other universes, that is not mentioned. Only it is mentioned about this universe, because to know about this universe only, it is vast. It's
Right.
actually inconvenience. But
Thank you very much.
every universe will have their own Vyasa Deva, and they will have their own Shastras and their own Siddhanta.
Thank you. I appreciate, Prabhuji.
Okay, so we will conclude here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaः. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Sri Madhvacharya ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Chaitanya
Prabhu.
Jivan Prabhu ki jai.
Jai. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Very nice class, Prabhuji.